And
Oh,
funny enough,
you're
since you
alive.
just, oh,
Oh, you're
that's
good.
fine.
I'll be right
Yeah, you're
back,
good.
guys. But we'll start in about 4 minutes.
Awesome.
No,
So
I'm
since we're
curious,
live
average.
now, a guy did offer me shrooms
Ooh.
when I
Oh
was
my
there.
god.
Or when my friend Devin, which is funny because he said, "What are you doing tomorrow night?" I was like, "Ooh." He's like, "There's a show." I was like, "Oh," but I went anyway. And we go there, and the guy we're sitting next to, he's just like, "Oh," because everyone's like passing blunts around, which is fine, doable, totally okay. But then one of the guys sitting next to us is like, I also got some shrooms, some shroomies, which I never heard before. Fucking shroomies, some shroomies. It has like a bag. And we're looking at each other like, huh? I was like, oh nah. He was like, no, it's just a micro, man. I'm like, so you're the designated driver? He was like, yeah, it's just me. I'm like, are you just gonna take that shit right now before the show? He's like, yeah. Dude, I drive fine. I do this shit all the time, man. I'm like, nah. Driving a fucking Rainbow Road, motherfucker. But yeah, it was a good time. And he did take that shit like a champ. He looked fine.
Yeah, I'll be back in 3 minutes. I had to hear the story before I left.
Oh. He's like, shrooms? What the fuck?
I'm here. I'm just making a crumpet, but I'm listening.
You're making a crumpet?
Yeah.
Elliot?
I'm just currently hunting down token borders for my beasties.
I thought you were about to say you're hunting for your own food. I was like, you don't gotta do that.
I mean, have you not been to a grocery store? Like, you may as well go hunting.
Fair enough.
I should find a token border that looks kind of like a target, as if you're locked on an enemy you're chasing down.
I've seen one like that before, I think.
If you guys ever find something like that, send that my way.
I might know where to find one. I seen one similar when I was playing as a gunslinger in another campaign. I think I saw one like that. Let me see if I can find it.
What you look for?
If I was just telling everyone if they find a token border that kind of looks like you've locked on to a creature or just looks like a general target, I would use that as like
crosshairs.
Yeah, because I would use that as like a token border for some of my monsters, as if you've locked onto them when you start combat.
Pretty cool.
I think I found one, actually. It's just going to cost me a little bit of money, which is fine.
Probably like $4.99 or something.
It's $5.99. It's the
Fuck.
Loot Tavern custom token frames.
Oh, Loot Tavern. Yeah. Use those in our Monday game. Sorry, the unicorn one. Those the borders they have.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
there's some cool ones that you guys have been having there.
Yeah,
I don't think I've said it all. That's a cool little mini campaign.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more mini campaigns, and they're certainly going to be popping up over time.
It was a good idea.
I don't think I'll be running any more.
Y'all killing it.
I don't think I'll be doing any more guild games until after Falcon. I'm trying to find people to fill in the next few Fridays for me. Getting ready for that
To try this
Falcon.
one.
Like 2 weeks, man. All of you are gonna
Hell
be there.
yeah.
Well, most of you guys are gonna be there. Hashtag sad. Let's forget about Kanto. He's gonna be missed so much. All right.
Don't worry.
I'm going to
Take plenty
mute.
of pictures.
Well, let me do a roll call before I get into this. Even though I just seen Kanto say here. Average,
Yup.
Izian,
Hi, hi.
Kanto. Yes, here still. Okay, Cloudy,
Here.
Sakura.
Ready to go?
You guys didn't hear Kanto, but he is here. He's probably chomping down on something.
A
For the,
crumpet.
yeah, for the stream here. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll the intro. You guys will be muted briefly, but you guys can talk. So can't talk to.
This is the most important meal of the day.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining us for another session of Fantasy of the Past. I think today's episode 11. Wow, good job, everybody. Who would like to handle the recap of last session to get us ready for tonight's?
I got it covered this time.
Excellent. Take us away, Lou.
All right. Can't really do a character one because of how jump cutty this last session was, but I'll do what I can. Last time on Shadows of the Past. We started our journey following Judith, reporting into her boss, Mr. Turtle, at Between the Flames. They talked regarding the possible attack from the mouth that feeds in a year's time, but Judith felt it would be best to gain more information first before releasing it to the public. In addition, she requested some assistance in researching the night chapter in Mothmorn. With business taken care of, she returned back to the manor after a quick pit stop in town. We flash forward to the party, waking up in a void filled with various broken structures and bridges. Lewis was temporarily dragged into another mental space, met with the dragon within him, who gave him an offer. Give his body to the dragon in exchange for his team's survival, or have the dragon take over all their bodies by force. Lewis, of course, refused, as he figured there had to be some way to get out of here. With his consciousness back and caution on everybody's minds, we proceeded forward. Flashing forward, we witnessed Sora responding to a message left in her room by Dando. They met at a tree quite a ways from the manor. He informed her of Agabas's plan to wipe out their people as they had sealed them in the mouth that feeds in the past. A mission that Agabas had been mostly successful at as Dando and Sora were the last survivors, the last of the Iko family. Seeing the differences in how they were raised, a deal was made to teach the other their ways. Dando would teach Sora how to fight, and Sora would teach Dando how to feel. All so they could become stronger and face Agabas one day. It was also mentioned that the jewel that Sora received wasn't a mere ornament, but a container for their family rune to be broken only when she was ready. Returning to the present, we were attacked by shadow wormlings, aspects of the dragon. We took major damage, but afterwards discussed our next move. Quite a bit of commotion was started as we were trying to figure out what to do, in particular with Phoenix and Judith arguing about whether or not power was necessary under this circumstance. All the commotion attracted some shades that seemed passive enough after some speaking to. They spoke of a dragon sword that would allow us to escape and started us on our way. We progressed forward, hopping from island to island, with a very close call from Amrut's part. After looking at the horde, we discovered the skeletal corpse of a dragon Lewis knew all too well. In its skull lay the portal out, and a smaller skeletal dragon guarding it, a fragment of the dragon's power. Once again, we flashed back to moments before we fell asleep and ended up in this place. Judith met with Lewis, giving him a gift, a box of anti-aging cream, and reassured him that, regardless of what he was dealing with, that he was himself. And having earned his trust, Lewis, as Judith was leaving his room, told him the name of his old party, Tangled. Phoenix and Sora spoke regarding her meeting with Dando and dreams of one day visiting the Turtle Isles with everybody. Meanwhile, Amrit prepared himself a bath. Flashing back to the present, we watched as our group faced off against the dragon. Realizing we stood little chance against it, we pushed past the dragon toward the portal, with Lewis trying to open a path for the others. As each member made their way through the portal, a vision was revealed to each of them of Lewis in his prime facing off against the dragon with various other adventurers, including a woman that strangely resembled Sora. Phoenix, Sora, and Judith were able to make it through without any trouble, but Amrit decided to kind of lag behind in order to rescue a pinned-down Jenkins. Back at the manor, the place was thrown into high alert regarding the situation, with Judith informing the guards of what happened and trying to check on Amrit's body, while Phoenix and Sora checked on Lewis, whose body had been encompassed by the black tissue. Pouring whatever magic and rune energy into him they could, they managed to assist from the other side, forcing rune statues that were within the void to help us fight back the dragon. It created enough of an opening for Amrit to rescue Jenkins from the dragon's grasp and make it through the portal, witnessing Lewis the moment his arm was taken off by the dragon's tail. Lewis, using whatever energy he was able to, and with the help of his team, was able to barrel through the bone dragon's wings, making it through the portal, where he experienced for that moment one last time. As he looked back at the girl he'd spared's life in exchange for his arm. As everybody started to calm down from the situation, Lewis decided it was finally time to discuss what the hell was going on with him. The next day, of course, after everybody got some rest. That is where we last left off.
All right, awesome. You know what to do. Roll your D3.
All right.
Nice. Now, we start almost every session with this guy. I promise you, they're not the main character. Go ahead and start. Oh, we're gonna need a different tone. So the room is dark, save for some type of machinery of some kind, glowing, sparking. The blood can be heard running through someone, and liquid thereafter pouring. Amrit, you are on the floor with one hit point. Blade is through your back. Dying. You're in a room. Been here before because right now, just thinking about it. As you lay here on the ground, bleeding to death, Yasuke slowly pulls his blade out of you and whispers in your ear, "Sorry, friend. You just never listen." Stands up. Chaos turns around, looks to you while you're bleeding out and coughing and choking up blood. On the order took you in. You are nothing, an orphan, child, no purpose, no direction. We've given you a life here. Still, you break the law. This is your final warning, Emra. Protect your brothers and sisters. Protect this family. Draw your last breath. Choose.
You're all cowards.
He nods and Yasuke slices off Emret's head. And the automatons that constantly beat up or capture or kill Emret come, and this one grabs and sticks him onto its body before walking away. Yasuke cleans his blade and looks down the ground. Theos walks over here and pulls off this veil onto him. He shouts back to the Felforge and release him. And from the tank, see an Amrut floating, sleeping in a vat of water or whatever chemicals spilled in here. Open experiment 113. The machines get to work immediately, nodding. Yasuke just keeps his head down to the ground, serving his master completely. Eventually, this Amrut is released from the machine, and Theos says to him, "Your name is Amrut. Soon, memories will flood into your body. You need to understand that there are not many of you left. You continue down this path, you will die forever, suffering the pain of all the deaths before you. You were not special when you came here. You are special now. The first ever creature to be given the rune powers. You are not like other rune warriors. You were created, made, and you are to obey the Night Chapter. I am the Night Chapter's leader and enforcer. You are my tool. Do you understand?" And you're like being just born into this world in this instance. You're naked and bare for all to see, and as you come out of this machine, your memories are slowly flooding in. You think each time they attempt to alter the parts of you that are unconvincing, we'll say, unneeded. What do you say to Theos as you awaken from this state?
Amrit will look at his hand and then bring his fist up to his chest and bow. "Yes, my liege."
113, your final body is one you possess. You're far too valuable to be destroyed. Next time, we will teach you a lesson. And then he opens this vat here, and falling out is with someone whose memories immediately flood into your mind. Nikita, been your greatest ally here, maybe even a best friend. And as she's unconscious on the floor, he levels his blade to her neck. The next time you fail us, it will be her life that is taken. You do not value yours. But I trust there will be no further issues. I have a task for you. The local village, round up their children. The Night Chapter needs new units. Do you accept?
It will be done.
Good. And as he turns away, the automatons come and collect you. And, well, we're back in school. This is the
I
day.
think these eggs are
Good.
a little overcooked. Is it just me?
Just
Are they the green? Are they the green ones again?
Looks like it.
Judith is like, nah, I'm okay, and push the eggs to the center.
Oh, I mean, if you all don't want your eggs, I would gladly eat them all.
It's just a
Have
color
it.
thing, that's all.
I mean, do you... En route, do you like eggs goopy? I know you're kind of the blood guy, but...
I prefer things with iron in them.
Oh, well, you can have my blood pudding if you want. Yeah, it's too salty.
That's a disturbing thing on the menu, but okay. And they'll reach over and grab it.
I think they offer quite a wide variety here, honestly.
I'll start eating that.
So, any more dreams that anyone has had recently they feel like they should bring to the table? You never know when it may endanger our very lives, I suppose.
Jenkins.
I think I had one, but I can't remember it.
Helpful.
Usually I remember all of them, but I don't know.
Do you think it was different than the others?
Maybe.
I find when you're not focusing too hard on it, bits and pieces will come back to you.
Sure. Guess we'll find out.
Lewis, how's that face cream working out for you?
Still trying to figure out how to get it somewhat even. But it's been nice. As you kind of just like look at him, you notice that there's like a little bit that's still like smeared underneath his chin a bit. But it looks like you got the rest of it mostly good.
Because I'm on the other side of the table. I'll just use my. I'll kind of like move my hand a little bit, and my hand will go over with the mage hand and just wipe the rest in, and say, "You just gotta make sure it's all wiped in evenly. You're fine." But you look very refreshed, and if I would say maybe 30 months younger.
Good to know.
When
Really
you
just
say
continues
that,
going.
Phoenix looks over to Lewis. I'll say this time she's been eating and scribbling in a notebook, like not paying a whole lot of attention. But the 30 months younger, she's going to look over to Lewis to see if he actually looks any younger.
I mean, it's very expensive face cream. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's only used it's expensive, but he's only used it one night. Take a few more massages.
She just shrug her shoulders and go back to her scribbling.
What are you drawing over there, Phoenix?
Sorry, above table, I took some chips in my mouth.
That's alright. I don't like those green eggs either.
You see, that was a literal crunch. You heard that, right?
Yeah.
Damn, there's a shell in there. Okay.
Fuck, they're slipping.
While you guys are enjoying breakfast, Issapar comes in, sits down. But just like give me the gist of it all. Not only every detail. What's going on?
Sora would look to everyone. Mind if I take this one?
Nope.
Go for it.
Alright. There's me. Long lost moon family with a giant mouthed ape. Over there, we have Armut. Big old shady organization wants to kill him. Then Lewis over there, possessed by some ancient evil undead bone-faced dragon thing. Phoenix, Judith, what do you bring to the table?
What do you mean?
What disaster are you bringing to the table that we all had so far?
Oh, compared to you guys, I'm boring.
Oh,
Yeah, same.
Phoenix is creating Jenkins.
He knows that part already.
Oh, right.
I think he's more curious about why people keep breaking in and attacking us.
Oh, I have no idea.
Well, what's more concerning is from the facts of the situation of last night, no one necessarily broke in. It was, he looks towards Lewis, someone else is doing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's got to do with me. He kind of just like messes with his food for a bit before just like letting out a deep sigh. How much do you guys know about Tyrandrum?
Nada.
Tyrandrum. Will
Who's
we
that?
know that that's? Will we know that that's the bones of the dragon in that massive dragonborn city? That's kind of not too far from here.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. The details of him, maybe not, but you would be familiar with that. It's the boned thing. You really want to know about Tyrandra and be religion. He is a deity now.
Religion. I was the same, bro. Not
Okay.
a damn thing.
I'll try it. Yeah, there you go.
Sora loose tales about it, but none of that accurate.
Yeah, she's from the islands. She would have very little idea.
That thing is the reason why we had the Dragon Wars quite a few years back. Went around causing quite a bit of destruction across the entirety of Elder Earth.
And you killed it.
I can't take much of the honors of actually being able to say that I took it out.
You were there. You made a pretty big impact from the vision that I saw last night when we were going through the tunnel.
And respectfully, I think the big ass dragon disagrees.
I was definitely a part of it, but I couldn't have done it alone. After all, spent, I want to say, at least multiple months just to catch up to the thing. Every single time we managed to track it down, lay waste, get the hell out before we managed to deal much damage to it. Just being able to chase the thing down was already exhausting enough.
From what I remember, the battle took place over 3 different cities. It was quite a mobile threat.
Yeah. Thankfully, we managed to track it down to one specific location once he got tired enough. Gathered as many people around that was of a reputable nature, I suppose. And did whatever we could to just raid on this thing's nest.
How many were there? How many were there? It looked like there was a pretty large battle. Was it just you and the Tangle?
If I remember right, there should have been at least solid 50 people, I want to say. Maybe more.
One of which is called Palm. You've met her in the Mouth of Feet.
So she's turned evil that recently?
Lewis knows Palm?
Well, we're not sure if they all know each other. There was like 50 of them. They were all high caliber heroes, but they may not have had a relation to each other. But if Lewis does know Palm, perhaps he can elaborate. But Mr. Farr would go into the fact that they haven't heard from Palm in about 10, 15 years. And Dragon Wars was about 30 years ago.
And I think my mom was with you, Lewis. Or at least
What?
she was part of the 50. I saw her fighting. She was beautiful, powerful, golden. She looked almost exactly like me.
You see a slight smirk on his face. Must have had quite the reputation it was if she was up there with me.
So you didn't know her?
Unfortunately not.
I don't
I'm
blame
mostly
you.
stuck to myself.
Do you know if she survived that battle or?
If she did not survive against Ogobas.
Ogobas? Is that the giant ape mouth that you're talking about?
He has escaped, and he seeks to destroy what remains of the family of Aku there are.
Aku.
Me and my brother.
So you've had contact with this individual?
Yes, the one that visited me that one night.
That was foolish of you. You could have been hurt or killed. Last time you saw them, they attacked you on sight.
I could have been, but I didn't want this problem to further the pain and suffering my friends have gone through. It was a fear I wanted to face by myself, and I was rewarded. He is my family, and we both have sworn to help each other grow stronger, so when the ape shows up again, we will be at our strongest when he arrives.
Family is important to all of us. I know as a father, you should be careful. There's still a stranger to you in this regard. I'm not going to reprimand you for what you've done. I just want you to consider your own safety and the safety of your classmates.
I understand. Although, it's hard for me to view the word safety as something that's true these days.
Well, I can't argue with that point. Anyways, time to dig in. Mr. Farr!
So you get to go.
He grabs a bunch of stuff really quick. Oh, preview classes. It's been like ages. Let's get those done today. Mr. Farr would set off.
Sora would look to everyone. I didn't get a chance to speak to everyone about this first, but I did go off. I told Phoenix, but that night before we all entered that nightmare, I went off by myself. For Dondo had left me a message on my bed. He wanted me to go and see him to a tree to the north. And he is my brother. I gave him some choice words, but he was raised a lot differently than me. So I had to understand better. But he's the one who gave me this gem, and he gave me my family's name. I am Sora Aku, the last of the giant apes of the moon.
Where's your brother at now?
Around. I am waiting for another message from him before I go visit him again.
And you're sure he's your brother?
The resemblance is uncanny, and she does a little, sideburn rub.
Okay.
One day, when I feel it is right, I want one of you to meet him. He is trying to be a nicer person.
You can challenge him and have him meet Lewis.
It'll depend.
Everybody loves to pick on him, so.
Very true. It would depend on what he's most interested in. I did tell him I was gonna help him get game, but I'm not sure.
Get game like a sports game?
Phoenix points to Judith.
Yeah, like hunting or.
No, like romance.
Oh jeez. Wait, you're the one who's gonna help him with the romance?
Well, the first goal is to have him be nicer. Second goal is to show him how it is done.
Oh, I can't wait to see this. This is gonna be fantastic.
Judith, you wouldn't happen to like very muscular white monkey men?
No.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that first.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Okay, Phoenix, you'll meet him next.
Oh
There
no,
we
I was
go.
saying for Judith.
No, it's
I'm
too
too
late.
short.
Nope, it's too late.
I'm sure he'd love to meet Jenkins.
Jenkins.
Everybody loves Jenkins.
Yeah.
She pushes. Amrit, sorry. She pushes the chair back with her hands, and she's looking to you, Sora. She's like, "You go see whoever you want, whenever you want, alone, with people, whatever. Just don't feel like you are bothering us, and that's why you're not asking us to come along. Okay?"
Okay.
I second that.
Sorry, with everything going on with everyone, I didn't want to throw on another log onto the fire, you know?
Yeah,
Oh, this fire is ablazing. No worries.
yeah, meeting your brother seems less precarious than what we've been through lately.
Well, he did beat me up the first time he met me.
One of us will
Right,
go
so
next with
that's
you
fair.
next time. Yeah.
But let's just get previews done, shall we?
Oh God, yes. Judith will run up to her room and grab some notebooks and stuff like that and join everyone in a little bit afterwards.
Excellent.
I wonder if Baby Mello would like to join us. Not sure he'd fit in the classroom though.
Probably not. Are there double doors or?
Yeah.
Oh well, maybe.
Well, I'll go check with him, see if he's interested. He does have to walk around a lot, which is a lot for a dragon turtle.
Yeah, you're gonna be late. I'm going on ahead.
But he must grow those legs strong if he ever has to reach the ocean one day. So Sora will go off and see if Baby Mello is free to join the rest of preview classes.
Baby Mello is a baby, so whenever you guide him anywhere, he usually just follows.
All right.
He doesn't have an itinerary.
Yeah, you start tugging him, and he just like looks at you and follows you.
All right. Sora will be bringing Baby Mello as show and tell today.
Jenkins can keep him company if need be.
And you guys did finish the long rest. Phoenix, I don't know if you use all your hit dice if you don't have any more.
No, we didn't leave off sleeping, so I didn't do anything to her sheet.
Okay, yeah, we got a long rest.
What was my original hit points?
23.
23, gotcha.
Nice. And when you complete a long rest, you get half of your hit dice, minimum of 1 back. So those of you who use 3 or 2 or 3, might be getting 2 back, not all 3 back, stuff like that. I don't think anyone's used. It's good. All right, is everybody ready to set out? Or is there something somebody wants to do somewhere?
Before we start off for classes for the day, Lewis would just kind of go about his daily jog around the manor, just to get his usual training in, with just his equipment on him, just so he can get used to the weight of it. And as he's looking around, eventually reaching toward the end of it, he notices the tree on the side and recalls something that Phoenix had told him about being able to use sap in order to remove rust from his sword. And he decides to play around with that idea a bit as walks up to it and just lightly grazes the blade against the tree to try to draw a bit of sap from it.
And while you're doing that, you hear a voice behind you saying, "Lewis."
Was it this time? As he just like slowly looks over his shoulder.
The old hag, which is insane coming from you since you're pretty old yourself, but she stands behind you, her hands folded.
Oh, sorry about that. Didn't realize it was you either.
It's fine. This dragon within you. How much of Tyrandrum do you possess?
His eyes just kind of trail toward the sword, just watching as the sap runs along it, and he just like lightly dips it into the dirt to gather a little bit of sand, and gets like a spare cloth from him and just rubs it against the blade for friction. From what I could tell, quite a bit. If it was strong enough to be able to transport us to that place, then I'm honestly really worried about what the hell it's still able to do.
Been dormant all these years. Now it has awaked. Its curse must have been placed on you, dealt a killing blow. You've never brought it up before. I'm assuming it's a recent revelation.
Yeah. From what I could tell, it seems to be probably building on whatever curse it put on me back then. As he just like lightly places a hand on his shoulder. It's the reason why I wasn't able to get my arm back, remember?
He walks over to you and places her hand on your shoulder. She casts Remove Curse.
Trying to do Remove Curse on it, it seems to just backlash as the magic itself seems to just get consumed by darkness and almost like burns away into black mist.
He looks at her hand. I didn't think it'd be that simple. Be careful, Lewis. You're not as strong as you used to be. You need to get back your former strength. Tyrandrum ever appears, well, we can't afford to fight the dragon and Palm.
Yeah, I know that better than anybody. As he's just trying to rub the cloth along his blade, a little bit of the rust starts to come off, and a slight grin comes on his face before it quickly disappears. Thankfully, after whatever the hell happened last night, it seemed to use up most of its strength. I get the feeling it's going to be sleeping for quite a while.
Do you see these rose bushes?
Yeah, what of it?
Mother Nature planted them on our property, along with all the flowers you see. These trees never die. Even in the winter, they're just as beautiful as they are today. Which reminds me, perhaps a trip is due to see her. If anyone can remove such a curse, it'll be her. As you know, back in the day, me, her, and Hekalu were known as the Three Queens. Sakura's power over nature may be able to quell this curse. But alas, she is very busy. I'll find some time for you to meet with her in Modana's den.
He gives a slight nod. It would be appreciated. I'd prefer not to cause any more trouble than I already have.
He walks over to a tree and picks a flower. He hands it to you. This blue plant is a new kind of rose, some would say. It looks similar, but it is not the same. It's given a beautiful name. This plant is called Ilya. So you just kind of tucks it onto your coat.
Oh, yeah.
Walks away.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Oh. Would Lewis have any knowledge of, like, what type of meaning this type of flower would have?
It has a lot of meaning. I think that you, from your younger years and being around them when they were called the Three Queens, you would know that this tree was made to honor the bravest warrior that ever walked the world. And that's pretty much wearing it as like a badge of honor in itself, of grace, never giving up in the darkest hour. That is why this tree, that leaf, shines even when darkness is cast onto you. That is when it blossoms and blooms. It will guide you.
He always with sentimental touch. As he just quickly finishes wiping off the blade, removing as much of the sap as possible. After the treatment, it seems like most of the rust has fallen off. It still has signs of wear and tear from the rust eating away at it for so long, but compared to before, where the rust was very evident, it seems almost new, just a little bit rough around the edges, as he continues off and meets up with the others.
And before I jump, is there anything anyone else would like to do, or are we good to go?
Let's learn.
Last preview. At long last. Oh, Lewis is in on this map because that was the session he wasn't here a few sessions ago. And we still haven't gotten to the class. GM's scheduled, but the players. All right, so you all arrive at this classroom. It's actually a different classroom from where you've had all the other ones, because these last few courses require a working forge. Let's move you there now. Let me know when you guys have vision to get there.
No vision.
Nah.
Nada.
Rip. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All good.
Excellent. So when you guys walk in, you could see this crazy combination. A library, in the middle is a forge. Fire, the adversary to books. But alas, here it is. And next to it are two extraordinarily rare forges called Frost Forge, where you craft magical items. In the far end of the room, you see the teachers, Rama, Bronzebeard, and Kremar, who will be taking you through today's courses. They tell you to file in and line up next to the forge, and the instruction will begin briefly after. Mello doesn't seem to like the heat, so he's like tugging away from Sora as you guys come in.
It's okay, you can wait at the door. You can just watch from afar.
He just lays down lazily in front of the door.
Theater of Mind Jenkins is in here somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, you could drop him on a map if you want. Maybe he's hanging out with Mello or something.
Sounds good. Phoenix is going to take the long way around to the forge. She's going to go around and look at all the books on the shelves that are at her eye level on her way there.
They all revolve around crafting stuff. Most of it is mundane. You see the rarer books are on higher levels above. But it's what you're going to be learning over the next few weeks. You know that Kremar is teaching you stone and clay today. Rama is teaching you forged in fire. And Bronzebeard is Tinker's time. As you do line up, Kremar steps forward. Hello, I am Kremar. Today, in stone and clay, we will be making a ruined piece of clay into a suitable dunker. Yeah, you heard that correctly. You'll have to douse your blade you'll be making later into a vessel. We're going to make some type of clay pot to house it. This class's aim is so that you can forge mundane and magical stuff even in the wild, down to every single necessary component. Do I have any volunteers that would like to see how the pottery takes place?
Oh, me? I would like to try that.
Come forward. And you do get a set of potter's tools, which he tells you, give them out to everybody. Thank you for volunteering.
Yes. And she'd go down the line, handing everyone some potter's tools.
I'll add the components to it, because I know you guys love to, well, make use of what's actually inside of it. So now you guys have the components at the bottom, so you know what you're working with. Anyone would like to attempt to start rolling up their clay first? Be my guest. Say the word.
I'll give it a go.
Now, you need to get close to that heat over there. Put this spin cage on top of it. Lay down the clay. Spin. It's gonna get really warm, but it shouldn't burn you.
She does her best to follow his instructions. She is proficient with smith's tools, and given she's built Jenkins, she's not too bothered by the fire, but she's not worked with pottery before.
Well, it's a whole different beast. Metal is hard to break, but clay is meant to be soft and formed before it hardens. Now, as you do get to work, let's see just a d20 with intelligence. Your intelligence will lend you from your previous tools.
So just click on intelligence check.
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
You just keep spinning, and it looks more like a baseball bat instead of like a container, which we need. It's a thin tube, a little too thin, but it was a good effort. Let me show you. And he does it in front of you, and you see him rolling it up on the heat, and he makes a vase or a vase or whichever those words you like to use for. And when he's done, he places it in front of himself and fills it up with some type of liquid. Now this is where we could douse the blade. Don't worry, he hands it to you, Phoenix. I didn't expect anyone to get it on their first try.
Thanks.
Now, the rest of you, who would like to give it a try next?
I would like to give it a go.
Let's see what you've got.
All right. She peels off her sleeves and rubs her hands, get them all warm, and she's gonna give it her best shot. Intelligence. Not much better.
A little bit better, but it's still really like a club, and we need something a bit wider to douse stuff in. Good work. I'll just take from one more of you, and then we'll all do the class together. Who else would like to give it a final shot before we all sit down and go through the ropes of it?
I'll give it a shot.
That's what I like to hear.
Hey, Emmerich, do your best, huh? And I'll give you a bardic inspiration.
Oh. Sure. Thanks. That's a D6, correct?
Yes.
Alrighty.
It's a great gift to answer the. Yeah, you do really well. You make it hardens, you shape it properly, you fill it up with the liquid, and Kremer's mouth is just dropped. Potter expert. Good job, Emma.
Really backs up.
Now, it's important to make these clay tools when you're out and about. But more important than that is also the stoneworking side of it, which, well, is a part of the essentials as well. And you see him pull out a separate set of tools. Stone mason. I think that's what they call it. No, just mason tool. And as he puts down the mason tools in front of you, he goes through the ropes of what happens next, kind of building it together. Stone and clay can make almost anything. Well, metal usually makes weapons. But if you want to build a house, or if you're out in the wild and you need to make yourself something safe, like a hut. These are essential skills to know. And he takes a step back. And Rama claps his hands. Now that you've done the boring part, shall we do Forged in Fire? And he hands everyone a dull dagger. Job is simple today. Using Smith's tools, sharpen the blade. He returns to the center. Is anyone here proficient or familiar with these tools?
Phoenix's finger goes up about head height.
Excellent. Do you mind going first and showing the class how it's done?
I'll give it a try.
He gives you the whetstone and watches closely as you prepare to sharpen your dull blade.
Now me, the player, is not all that smart with this, so we will say using water, and there should be a sharpening stone in there. She watches the angle and looks at the knife for any nicks and tries to smooth those out. Whetstone, that's what it's called.
All right, and as you get to work, you beat the DC, so you do a good job. Rama begins clapping. Good work, good work. Sharpening a blade is also important. You don't have anything to douse if you don't have a blade. And what you just saw Phoenix do could save you. You're out surviving for your life, and all you've got are dull daggers or unfletched arrows. This is the first step of making a viable weapon. This is also an essential part of crafting anything to do with the field of smithing. Armor, weapons, helmets, shields, all of it. If you take up this class, you'll be able to forge plate, minimal resources, even when you're out and about. Consider the situations you could find yourself in the future where these skills are going to be prevalent to your survival. And if not, I will also mention that it's one of the highest paying careers. Tremor runs it, so not fair. You're not supposed to bring that part up. Hey, money speaks for itself.
I'll try it.
Go ahead.
Judith. All right. This intelligence?
Yeah, unless you could figure out a different way. I mean, what's survival's wisdom? So you have an option of wisdom too.
Oh, God, no. God, no. I will just try to do exactly what Phoenix just did.
Wow, you. Jack of all trades, having you keep up with exactly how she did it and figure it out. You sharpen a blade just as good as Phoenix, and the class kind of applauds. You see the three teachers clap in unison like it's prepared, or maybe they have military mindset. But your blade is really sharp, and Phoenix, you'd probably be impressed. You didn't know she was proficient. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't.
Yeah, there's a little bit of competitiveness coming up in her right now, but she smiles and nods.
Phoenix, look how sharp my knife is. It's really nice, right? Nowhere near as sharp as yours, though.
Aha, good job.
I'm sure you'll wipe the floor with me on all the other ones.
Nah, I'd hate to ruin your hair.
She does have very nice hair.
Bronzebeard walks up. I'm Bronzebeard. We've met before. Today, I also teach Tinkers. And we will be making a very simple structure. We are going to turn that blade into a retractable blade. This should be very fun, very useful. Anyone here know how to use Tinker's tools?
Phoenix's finger goes up again, but this time slower than last time. Like, she hates having to say me.
Come on, Phoenix!
She is the smartest one by far.
I will say she's also very distracted by Bronzebeard. She is like trying to eye him up and down, and if she gets to get close to him, like she is looking for any imperfection in him.
Give me an investigation or perception. Maybe it is an imperfection, though not by design, by something that came afterwards. He's got a scar underneath that cloak he wears on his chest. You can see a fracture that reveals a portion of his core, which is this constantly rotating spear within him. Though to your surprise, it looks like solid metal, yet it's silent. Don't hear it.
She doesn't say anything. She's just eyeing him, trying to put information away in that head of hers.
Now, using the Tinker's tools, you can turn this blade that you just sharpened into a retractable blade. What we're looking for here is a wrist blade. This way, if you're in a situation where you need to forfeit your weapons, you have one hidden. Sometimes it can be hidden inside a belt's buckle, sometimes in your hair as a band. In any case, a retractable blade is an excellent small weapon to keep as a backup tool, and are very easy to use for any creature. Some would say a simple weapon. With that said, let's see your Tinker's tool to see if you're able to he shows you the blueprints to put it all together.
I swear, if she does bad on this one, I'm gonna scream. Let me finger off the push to talk first. Damn it!
No, you're doing good. You're meeting the DC. So you would, wait a second. Did I put the wrong components under?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
You go back, you check. All right, let's do the same. I don't know.
It might be that. I have no idea.
Okay. So anyways, yeah, you do an excellent job. You make a retractable blade. You mentioned being able to make it for your wrist, a hairband, a belt buckle, insert, whatever else you come up with. What did yours become? You would have made it perfectly.
Let's do it based off of her gloves. So there's that buckle on her gloves. We'll have it hide right underneath the wristband part of it.
All right, excellent. So as you do that, he just claps his hands. You're exceptionally skilled.
Self-taught. I'm sure you can teach me more.
Hopefully. I only know what I'm programmed to know. Though I have recently been upgraded to understand and learn and progress as a normal living creature can.
Interesting.
He turns to the middle of the room and says, who else would like to make a retractable blade? By the way, you can unretract the blade as a bonus action. Otherwise, it functions as a dagger that's merely hidden until needed.
I would like to try and make one, but make one for my friend, if that's okay.
Am I the friend?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
You sure you want to give him more weapons to hurt you with?
Okay, that's very unfair.
That's a low blow.
Yeah, whoa.
Just saying.
That was not in his control. There was a mime involved. We have moved on. It's okay. So it's an intelligence check?
Or you can use your wisdom because this is kind of a survival tactic. It's simpler stuff, not making stuff like Phoenix makes Jenkins with.
I'm gonna argue for wisdom in the sense that Sora has fought with Amrut for a while, perceiving how he's fought, seeing what he could probably benefit the most from, so she's going to see if her idea will come together. Oh. So, Amrut, when Sora is done, she gives you this kind of bracelet-looking thing with the knife on the bottom of it. However, it's very obvious if you were to ever try and, use it, it wouldn't shoot out, it would shoot in. Yeah, and she would essentially just cut your wrists open. Yeah, I made it for you. Hey, Tom.
Bronzebeard walks over to Emerald and goes, can I see that?
Yes, of course.
He tosses it into the fire. Who's next?
Oh.
I was gonna use it to cast my spells. Sorry. Anyway,
Might as well give it a shot. As Lewis is trying to work with all the various components, he tries to think back to how Clemdor was like working with the various materials he used to compose his arm with like the various springs and screws and such. Would I be able to argue using wisdom for that?
Sure. Again, this is
Alright.
a more simple one. If it was a more advanced, it'd have to be intelligence.
Got it.
So you're able to put it together really good, and just like with Judith, you managed to overtake Phoenix by 1.
Aww. Kind of getting like all the various components and such, he kind of thinks to like where it'd probably be best to use it. And he kind of just like looks down at his arm. Seems like a good spot. As he kind of like attaches the main component of it into the shield around where his arm is, and creates like a handle of sorts, so that way he could just clench it and it causes the blade to shoot out of his shield.
Oh.
Excellent. Ronfear does a soft clap. Well done. This was a very simple preview. Not all of you got to make something, but the instructions are clear. You have future opportunities should you choose this major as your own. My understanding, you've completed all of your classes' preview courses. Now you've a big decision to make. What you'll be studying for the next year. This will be ironed into you. You won't always be in the class. Sometimes you'll be studying a book. In any case, you will become experts of your respective fields, able to craft and create some of the best material this world has ever seen. In the School of Zion's Hope, we strive for expertise. With that said, you'll have time to make your own decisions later, back at the dormitories. You are all dismissed for today.
Thank you.
I will put you guys back home. You don't need to be eating. Maybe you want me to put you guys on the first floor or the second floor?
I'd be on the second, I think.
Second floor.
You guys are chilling out. Okay. I'll put you guys on the second floor. And now I'll pop up the handout. You guys can, we don't usually try to leave character because we're playing. We want to stay in character and have fun. But maybe there is a talk to have about what tool you want. And if you manage to keep that in character, awesome. Let me pop up the handout for you guys. Because you guys need to choose your majors. Hopefully you've had time to just. Zion's Hope Academic Primary Handout.
As we're walking back, I would say, so what's everyone thinking about taking?
It may not ever really prove useful when it comes to all of our fighting and trying to survive, but I'm really taken with the arts and maps. Art and making these grand paintings and drawing really fun, and maybe I can not be so lost if I make my own maps.
I like that for you, Sora.
I'll stay with the chemical stuff.
The alchemical arts and poisons?
Yeah, make more potions for everybody.
That fits. The one that you made me before was fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Glad it kept everybody alive.
What are you
No,
thinking,
no,
Phoenix?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Goldbeard there's really impressive. I would love things to be that complex one day, so probably gonna sit under him.
Old man?
Most likely force and fire. And
Now, you haven't
feeling I
taken-
need to replace a few components here and there.
Now, you haven't taken this class before, and you're just taking it again to get an easier time, right?
Even if I did, I doubt that I'd be able to remember much of it after 30 years.
Maybe if I get really good at all this art, I can add designs onto you, whatever you two craft. Truly make it your own.
Yeah, look quite nice.
Maybe.
You?
Oh, I've been torn for a while now, honestly. I originally thought that I would take calligraphy and forgery because it seemed right, produce fine scripts, register some flaws, identify and map. But two things. One, if Sora, you're gonna be taking map stuff, you'll be great. And also, I didn't really like Adam. I'm gonna be honest. I usually like most people, but I just didn't really like him. So I'm gonna go and learn under Charlemagne, the master of disguise.
Oh,
As an investigative reporter, I think it'll only help.
that makes sense for you. I hope that ends up being what you wanted.
Yeah, of course.
Well, looks like we're each specializing in our own thing.
You want me to make a list for you, Falcon?
Sure, just put it in chat soundtrack.
Okay, I'll put everything down.
You want us all to put it in chat?
I think he's writing up everyone.
Okay.
I guess it would make it faster if everyone did their own.
Emirate. 2 pods.
Oh, you need the generals from us, though, don't you?
No, you guys all get the same generals.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, every student goes through the 4 generals, and then you get to choose your own major as your fit. Okay, yeah, that's it. Let me check. All right, anyways, you guys are all choosing your major, which is awesome. And now here's what I want from each of you. We are about to go on a 10-minute break, okay? When we get back, this is going to seem pretty heavy for you guys, but it's how we handle a lot of the minor stuff. We're going to experience a 3-month time skip of you guys in your classes. So I don't want to put anyone on the spot right now. Think of what they want, maybe go on the internet and kind of see what your classes actually entail if possible. When I come back, I'm going to ask each of you how you spent the next 3 months. I want to hear about your majors. And then you can also include any RP or stuff like, Judith obviously going to her reporting thing every now and then. So you guys got about a 10-minute break, which you can also take a break. And I will come back with a 3-month time skip. See you all soon, and I hope you enjoy your majors. 3 months of learning them. All right,
Good.
all right, stream. See you guys in 10 minutes.
I'm gonna be right back while I think of that, because I can't talk and think at the same time.
I'll be back too.
Considering all of her instances of drawing and doing art, felt like it was only right to go arts and maps.
Oh yeah, that'd definitely make the most sense. Now she
just
won't
got-
get lost as easy.
And I know exactly what her style is. I'm gonna find a good reference for that.
Heck yeah.
I was going back and forth. Like I really wanted to do the other one, but then it was just like I went back and I listened to the episode where we met these individuals. I remember I liked Charlemagne, and I wasn't a big fan of Adam, and Charlemagne's a fire rune, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I have enough water rune drama in my life with Amrut.
Tee.
Yeah, I'm gonna think what I'm gonna do as well.
I think I got 2 or 3 solid RP scenarios to work with, so we'll see how those go.
3 months is a pretty big jump in time.
Oh yeah, quite a bit. Let's see, we're about, I want to say almost 4 months at the school now, a bit less than that. Actually, no, it's probably closer to 3 months and a week.
No, because our last travel was like 4 days out and 4 days back.
Yeah.
Right. So probably, yeah, almost 4 months sounds about accurate then, if that's the case.
Yeah, at first it was like, okay, yeah, 3 months. What would I be doing in this class in 3 months? And then I was making a tea, and I was like, so many deadlines Judith would have had to make.
Oh no.
All right, let's go ahead and Phoenix,
Yeah.
Emra, always one. Lewis,
Hi.
Judith,
Yes.
Laura,
I am here.
Emra. Give Emra another minute or two. Well, I guess we don't need to start with this recap, but I did.
I don't mind waiting another minute.
Wait another minute or two. Anytime the stream can enjoy the. We'll be right back at random information.
It'll be here in a sec.
Be there in the second game.
Listen, when your monk or your pugilist character in the guild RP was running and you said 100, 105, 110, I was like, I was just gonna say, yeah, nah, fuck it, I'll give up. And I was like, wait a minute, I can get there. I forgot. SunCloud's a speedy boy now.
Indeed. I mean, you know, muscles like that, then I'd expect him to be able to keep up.
Like, oh yeah, he's just doing a little cardio.
Yeah.
How fast is St. Claude these days?
Well, he has a base speed of 35, so then I hasted. So then it's 70 plus the hasted action, additional action to dash. Plus, I have this thing where if when I use a meta magic point, I can teleport 30 feet. So he's flying around.
Oh, he's fast.
That's a speedy boy right there.
How much are we gonna get our presents for Christmas?
I was gonna say very thematic.
Yeah.
I know I was gonna bid on the other one, but then I saw this chaos shard. I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely the one.
Wild magic for the win.
I just have to learn how to fly, and I'll be good.
Heck yeah.
Amber, you here yet? But he's not here. He'll be here soon. So let's begin. I'll put us on the overview. And do we have any volunteers of how someone would have spent their 3 months? And we need to do some improv on a small scene here and there, like to explore in that time. We certainly can. Any volunteers or someone who would like to go first and set the tone for the rest?
Yeah, I have a distinct idea of Sora's art style, and each month she ends it with a very moving piece to her specifically. It's not meant for other people to understand or to get, but they are important to her. And so, over the course of 3 months, Sora really took to art, and with a certain friend who only really communicates through drawing, it she's always drawing all the time in a sense. So she progresses quickly, and there over the 3 months, her room gets covered in canvas and paper of rough drafts, many crumpled up and forgotten about. But there are very distinct pieces in her room. Three of such are similar to the ones I'm about to put in our chat here, but this is the style she goes for, and I'll describe each piece in the iteration that Sora did them. In the first month, as Sora learned about the Rune Warriors and their fights against the Mouthers, she couldn't help but envision what those battles were like. So, at the end of the first month, she did this piece that represented a very powerful rune master, someone who almost seemed like every rune was at their disposal, fighting against an ancient Mouther of untold potential. She strung that up, and it to hopefully give her determination that even though the old foes have come and gone, the new ones are just as powerful, if not more. And she'll have to be that level of the master presented in that art. The second piece depicts at the second month of thinking about Lewis's plight. A art piece depicting a shadowy dragon with untold power and destructive energy. But lone warriors face it together. A swordsman and a being of nature. She would put this up in her room, initially offering to put it up in Lewis's. But it's up to him if he wanted that in his room. Because a certain somebody would still have to look at that photo and probably not be too pleased every night.
Kind of offering to put it up. He seems like a little bit nervous, like this visible look on his face where it's like, it's a nice start, but I'd prefer not to be reminded of that thing too much if I could help it.
And gladly she would, understandably, just take it back to her space. And that would be where you would see it, just hung up on the wall next to the three. Then finally, the third one is the best rendition she could do when she felt her skills had really come to par. Doing her best to depict the woman she saw in that brief look into the past. Of golden hair, the playful monkey, the powerful ape, her mother. And she would place this not really against the walls, but against the window. So that if a certain brother was ever looking out into her room, he would see that his little sister had seen their mom and thought of her always.
Excellent. How much time have you spent with your brother?
Anytime he would send a message, make it for their training sessions, Sora would leave into the night. One night, however, Sora would ask Dondo, "I think it is the next part of your training now, brother. I would like you to meet one of my friends so you may practice being nice."
Hey, listen. I'm doing my best here, pal.
I know you are. You are doing a really great job. Now this is a test.
Oh, so I passed.
Not yet. Would you like to, though?
I like to do whatever the hell I want.
Okay. Would you like to meet a tough friend or a pretty friend?
Oh, pretty. Yeah. Pretty for sure.
Okay.
Ain't no
Give
tough
me-
friends, only me. I'm the toughest.
How about I bring you the toughest and prettiest person I know?
You're looking at him, pal.
Sure thing, Dondo. And the next time they would convene, Amrut, you hear a knock at your door. You there, Average?
Who is it?
Hi.
Oh, hey, how's it going? Open the door.
Would you like to meet someone?
Meet someone.
Not someone from
Sure.
the past, don't worry. And Sora would grab Amrut by the hand and pull him along to go to Dondo's meeting place. And once there, she would shout out, Dondo! This is the toughest and prettiest person I know!
See him up in the tree, Emret. A flying kick comes flying your way. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh. Alrighty.
You avoid it with grace. As you avoid it with grace, you use his tail to spin around and kick you, but you block it with your hands. And you guys are just kind of in this cool motion. Air billows around as you're blocking his foot, and he just has it raised, balanced on one and his other one. He is tough. I don't need to test if he's pretty. This is one ugly mofo.
Are you kidding? Look at that hair.
All right, he's got nice hair. I'll give him that.
This is Amrut. I also call him Ram Man.
I'm done.
Nice to meet you.
You betcha.
Fuck, he is hot.
So,
See, what
I've been seeing flyers around the school campus. They're trying to get new students to fill in a second class. What's the chances you can get me into the second class?
I'll do everything in my power, Dondo.
You probably shouldn't tell them I'm the guy that broke onto campus and assaulted you, though. We should leave that part out.
Very fair point. But that means I have blackmail on you, just so you know.
No, male's white, excuse you.
Oh, shoot, you have a point. That is the correct saying, right, Amrut?
No.
What saying?
Don't worry about it. I will go and see my headmaster and see if they have room for you. You are very powerful, so I very much doubt there'll be much problem.
And I'll test your headmaster just like I tested Amra. And now if he gets kicked in the face, I'm the headmaster now.
Sora thinks about it for a moment, and then she just smiles and nods. Yes, I think that would win him over greatly. And one day Sora will talk to Mistafar. I've noticed there's a bit more openings lately. There's someone I know who is very strong, very powerful, and could really use some refining. I think he'd be perfect, but he is a little headstrong.
You're not talking about Vata again. I already told you I don't want to meet that guy.
No. His name is Dondo.
Huh?
He is my brother.
She was talking to Mustafar, I think.
But you recognize the Dando voice.
Oh, shoot. I was one of those days I wanted to go and talk to Mustafar.
Oh, I didn't realize the transition.
My bad.
Mr. Farr would just tell you, talking about your brother before. Isn't he the one that attacked you in your room?
It was a misunderstanding. He's different.
Breaking onto someone's property and beating the crap out of them, hardly a misunderstanding.
Fair point, but Mustafar, I have seen the threats we all face. We need every strong arm we can, and I think he at least deserves a second chance. He is one of the fastest people I've ever seen. If his strength can come and aid us, it would be a powerful boon in facing Palm at the end.
This is about a month and a half out, and he tells you, well, you know, the alternative class with Tasha and them, they haven't returned from their field mission. We've sent a few teachers out to find them. We fear the worst may have happened.
Where were they last found?
By the plains.
What if I got Dondo to try and look for them? He is so fast, and maybe that could be his way in.
They were with their teacher. Now, I know if Dondo's fast and he's saying he's strong. But if a rune master was defeated, one individual should not look for them. We've sent a few teachers. Should they return, with or without students, we can consider enrolling Dondo. But I'll have to get passed by the board, which is Deucalion, J-List, and Headmaster Heckler.
Well, just know he has my full support, if that matters with the headmasters.
Excellent. And I heard you took up paintings as your primary course.
Yes, I've really taken to it. My art may not be for everyone, but it depicts things that are important to me. I think that was the point at the end.
You know, the motions they teach in the painting class is most close to our elemental prowess. Every step of the stroke and everything you do brings you closer to the elements. They say one can involve their runes painting. It's rare, possible.
I would very much love to be able to do that one day. But there are many things I feel I am not yet ready for. But with every step I take, I know I'll get there someday.
Do something for me.
What is it?
Before I run this by the board, make sure every single one of your allies is okay with this individual coming on, especially as a potential rival. They may not feel safe.
That is more than fair. I shall convene with the others later tonight.
All right. You know, it's been nice this month and a half. Nothing crazy happening. Compared to the first 2 weeks. Or was it 3 weeks?
You had to go and jinx it, did you?
Of course.
And later that night, Sora would call everyone into her room. She would have some tea at the very least, and would start off by saying, I worry for our second class greatly. However, there is an opening in a sense to it, and I have a request that I wish to make to all of you. My brother Dondo, he wishes to enroll with us. So
like, skip the first 4 months we did and be part of us, or just be another student at the school?
Well, right now he would be another student at the school. He would have to
Well,
catch up with us, but trust me, he is quite fast.
I mean, someone wants to put their lives on the line to save the world. I ain't gonna say no.
Only requirement I have is that are you sure that he's trustworthy?
He's the only family I have left from the Aku. He is really bad at first impressions, as Amrut can tell you.
Really?
But he yearns for connection more than he admits. And I want to see him be happy.
Lewis's eyes kind of soften a little bit. All right. Then we'll just let his actions speak for him. Yeah,
Is there no one else in his life, or?
He has his master, but that's the same master that made him how he kind of is.
Out of game, he's single. Great.
Pardon? Yes, he very much
Continue.
is.
I mean, he kind of did attack me and insult me.
It's his way of saying hello.
Oh, it's a
I'm working
bad
on it.
habit, but hopefully he'll get around that. Yeah.
I think I need to trick him into thinking a handshake is a test of strength. And then he'll stop punching first.
Easy. A lot of guys are already like that.
Phoenix makes a mental note to make a hand buzzer.
Very well. I also heard from... I talked to Judith earlier, and she said she would be down with that idea. She has many ideas of how that could work. So I'll send a letter to him saying that the school would be willing to consider it, and he should meet with Mustafa.
All right. I guess we're putting our trust in you.
You can always trust Sora.
Sora, you'd say you could always trust me, likely with that big, beautiful smile that your token constantly shows us. We go to another character who's venturing 3 months in their life. I believe Phoenix would like to go next.
Yeah, so Phoenix's reads a little bit more like a to-do list instead of an interior introspection, and that's just because that's how her brain works. So, number one thing when the class starts that she's really focused on is the harnessing of magic and imbuing it into objects, making objects contain this magical force was her weak point when she was teaching herself. She would never know, she would never tell. But if anybody got one of her cousins drunk one night and talking, it would come out that the color in her hair is because when she first started tinkering, she mixed something the wrong way and there was a magical explosion and it just landed and made permanent hair color. But rather than try to cover it, she rocked it. So that is what she's working on at the beginning. I imagine the tinkering class is very hands-on, and so some projects that she would be working on, DM up to you, but she would be showing the blueprints for the goggles of night that were sent to her by Frankie, and would be wanting to make those in class. I don't know if that's something that can be done.
How many of the supplies have you gathered?
I need to pull that sheet up. She needs the soul stones. She has the shadow soul stone. She needs a piece of minor ultanium, and she has the glass.
Okay, you have the shadow stone. Good. That's the only one that they couldn't help you get at the school. The basic soul stones the school has shown to carry. But the pieces
Cool.
of minor ultanium would be taken out of your school salary.
She is fine with that. When she does make those, I'm guessing it's towards the end of those 3 months,
Certainly.
probably. She will be very excited to present them to Sora, but we'll get to that RP at the end. Other things she's doing during class that's not quite as involved is teaching Jenkins sign language so he can communicate with her easier, because the circuitry needed for verbal sounds coming from him is very complicated, and she does want to get to that. Him saying Sora's name was really interesting to her, but fast track it a little bit. She's teaching him a sign language. Outside of class, during some of that private time, she's writing letters back to home. She's writing letters to her cousin Paz that she really means it. He needs to get the family's affairs in order and get the hell out of Icarus before that 1 year time deadline. She's also writing to Frankie, the shop owner, not being so straightforward, but encouraging him to take a vacation. He's a hardworking guy, always taking care of his family, always at work. He really needs to consider taking a vacation. And then the last thing on her list is to spend more time with Monty, improving his wheelchair. If she can get it to recognize his biometrics and listen to his hand, kind of like a modern day touchpad to get the wheelchair to move, but just basically being his friend.
Give me Tinker Tools. I'll do for the chair, the Tinker Tools first. Okay, you would succeed in that. Now, next, let's see, and this would be at the end of your 3 months at some point, how well you did on in making the goggles.
Yeah, another Tinkers.
Yep.
God damn it.
I have to pick up in the fiction of you finishing them. But you would have come a long way. I would say you have one last step to complete.
Would the expertise that we get in this class, would that come into play? Because I didn't change that on the...
Well, we would get that at the end of the year.
Okay.
Right now, for those of you who lack proficiency, though, you would be proficient in these tools. But for the expertise, it would be the full year's course.
All right, so she doesn't have them to present to Sora. Sorry.
It is okay.
Well, you can present them. You just like, sure, I got one last finishing touch, unless you want to wait till it's completely done.
Yeah, no, she's a perfectionist. They've got to be ready to rock.
Okay, you guys would get, whenever you're not out on mission, which does increase the rate a bit, you guys will be getting 75 GP a month each. So collectively, it adds up a lot. That means that each of you are netting 225. Is that correct, math? 225 GP. The piece of Ultanium you needed would have been 200 GP. You would have gotten 25 GP out of your normal stuff. They would have paid and provided the regular the basic soul stone.
Okay, and then I will remove the Shadow Soul Stone and glass from my sheet.
Yes, I would say the product is pretty much ready. We're just going to take another long rest or two in the fiction for you to present it.
Okay. That's all I had for Phoenix.
That was great. Who would like to go next? So far, we've had some pretty good ones.
I don't mind going next.
All right, Lewis, how do you spend your next 3 months?
All right. Toward the beginning of it, toward the beginning of the month, most likely, Lewis would just eventually be wandering around for a bit and put his hand in his pocket and notice there's a bit more weight in it than usual and just checks his bag, realizing that he still has all the gold from the last mission during the time that Tyrandrum took over his body. So he just let out a deep sigh and just like, probably toward like the end of the day or something, just like knock on Judith's door.
You, Kanto?
Yeah, sorry, I was unplugged and listening from across the room. But yeah,
No problem.
what time of the day do you go over there?
Probably like somewhat late-ish, like sunset probably.
Okay, yeah, we'll say she's in there. The curtains are drawn, but she hears the knocking, so she'll go and open it and say, crack the door. Hello.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
see like her eyes. There's a bit of like some like lightly like some like dark circles almost under her eyes. But yeah. How can I help you, Lewis?
Here. He just like hands you a bag of gold that has 100 gold pieces in it.
What is this for?
You mind spreading this out across the rest of the team? It's from the last mission we took.
I'm kind of in the middle of something right now, but I just say hold on to it, and whenever something comes up, I'm sure if you want to buy it, people will be happy for it. It's all good. You don't need to hold your money. Lewis. You're not that old.
It's... I'll put this. It's less I'm trying to help pay for you guys' stuff, and I just don't trust myself with it. Let's just say I wasn't exactly the most responsible with my funds back before I joined the academy. I got certain impulses I would rather not take the chance with. Doesn't need to be now. I just prefer it if it stayed along with you guys, alright?
Okay, sure. Here, come in for a second. And
Sure.
when you go in, it's a lot of candle and firelight. Again, like the window is drawn, and you just see like lots of papers like all over the place that are. It looks almost chaotic, but the more you look at it, the more you realize it's just like super organized. And she probably wishes she had more room. Okay, so you have 100 gold here. She kind of rubs her face. And you want to split that between how many? All 5?
Just the 4 of you guys.
Okay. Well, here, and I'll make like I'll get like little pouches that I have, like you buy like inks and stuff like that to give you a little bag of some sorts. I'll get like 3 little bags, and I'll put 25 gold in each, and I'll say, here, if you want to give these to the others, this is fine. If not, I can give it to them at some point.
That works. As he just like gets the bags and leaves one of them with you.
All right. Take care of yourself, Lewis.
You mind if I borrow your pen for a moment?
Yeah, of course. Here, and I'll let you use the orders quill.
Got it. As he just takes his hand and just like starts writing out the names of each of the team members. You, being pretty well versed in writing, would notice that his hand is super unstable as he's writing.
Is it with the mechanical hand or the real hand?
His real hand.
Okay.
Just quickly writes each of the names and then hands you back the pen. Thanks.
All right. And I don't have to say it, but I trust that you will let them hold on to this 25 gold for you, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Your skin's looking great, by the way. Close the door.
Thanks to you. And just continues going to each of the rooms and just like quickly knocking on it, and then dropping a bag just directly in front of their doors that each has their name. So each of you would just add 25 golds, and over the course of time, he'd probably just continue on with his process of just like getting his gold and then just distributing it to you guys.
Is there a possibility we could catch you dropping it off?
He's not being particularly stealthy about it, so it wouldn't be all that hard.
Yeah, we'll say one of the times Phoenix opens the door where you're out there. Oh, you're the one being Santa Claus. Why are you doing this?
Just don't trust myself with gold is all.
Do you want it back? Am I holding on to this for safekeeping?
Keep it. Honestly,
You
the less
sure?
gold I have on me is better.
Because I'll spend it. Just so you know, I will. I'll spend it.
Go ahead. I don't exactly have much use for it.
Thanks.
I would say the second time you did that, Sora would stop you before you delivered it, and she just smile at you. Lewis, my friend, I have no material wants. Gold doesn't really mean much to me, otherwise I'd be selling my art. But you can still give it to someone. I know the perfect person. He's trying to build his hoard as we speak.
After a brief moment of just like thinking for a moment, he just has like a slight smirk on his face. Alright, I think I see where you're going with this.
So I don't need this money. But give it to Mello.
Sure. And after that second trip, you'd eventually just head down to where Mello is and just like hand him the slight bag of gold. Hey, little fella. Probably make better use of it than I could. Of course, he doesn't speak Mello's language in any way, so he kind of just like, he says it in common, but just drops it.
Just piles it up in the back of the show. Mello looks taller, by the way.
Really grown since the last time, huh?
He's got like, he's grown like a few inches, maybe 6 or 7 inches on his shell, expanding with his body.
Keep up the good work. As he just turns around and goes back into the manor.
He's been collecting local stuff that he considers treasure. Somehow, Jenkins' mop is inside of his shell.
Lowe's doesn't really say anything, noticing it.
He thinks you didn't notice. If he noticed, he probably would have took off running. He doesn't run that fast, though.
After going through that usual system, then Lewis, around his first month of classes, would just slowly start to look at his equipment and see how kind of messed up it is, and just go about trying to repair it a bit more. He's pretty rough with how it's done, though, so it isn't. His weaponry and gear doesn't look like brand new, as if you'd just normally forged it. It'd be a lot closer to metal before it's sanded, I guess is the best way to put it, where it still has that rough type of texture to it, but is still relatively functional for the most part. And on the side, he would also try to just make just a standard longsword and shield over the course of that first month.
Nice. Well, let's see the tools check. See how good they are.
Let's see. Would I have proficiency in it, or just regular?
Yeah, you guys would have got proficiency. If you're already proficient, you wouldn't get expertise just yet, but you'll get it eventually.
Got it. Swift tool, proficient. What attribute does he use?
You can use your wisdom because of survival, or you can use your intelligence because intelligence.
Okay, that works.
Which one are you working on first?
Sword.
Go for it.
All right. And second for the shield. Goddamn.
Really good work. I'm gonna say that the sword is masterworked. So how 5th edition works with masterwork, you never really hear about it. You only ever hear about +1 weapons. The masterwork is a thing in 5e where you get to add +1 to your attack roll, but not to the damage roll. It is pretty much as great as a sword can be before it's magical. It's a +1 to hit, but not to damage. And for the shield that you masterworked, I will say that you can don and doff it as a bonus action. Usually it's an action to remove a shield.
Oh, okay. And he would, for one reason or another, seem to just keep this gear in his room, not really using it. And there is a reason for this, so...
Backup gear.
Possibly.
Anything else you do over your 3 months?
During that timing when he's messing around with the shield and such, he would start to notice that his mechanical arm, due to how it moves, almost like angular fashions, and in jittery angular fashions, going between like very set angles. He would eventually just get tired of it and write up a letter to Clemdor, asking how the prototypes were coming along.
Okay. You wouldn't, in the span of the time, because how busy he is, you wouldn't get a response, but you'd get a response soon. Well, that's not entirely true. If you commission Judith, you can send an instantaneous message and receive one as well.
Okay, if she isn't too busy.
Well, that's the thing. She's probably as busy as Clamdor. And I won't speak for the player, but it seems like they got a lot going on.
What was that?
If you'd have had... go ahead, Lewis.
Eventually, Lewis would just check in on your door when you don't seem as busy and ask if you'd be able to send a message to somebody.
Yeah, it depends on when you went. But yeah, you could definitely have caught me during that time, and I would be progressively either tired or cranky or in a great mood or highly caffeinated, or on cloud 9. So I'll say, let's say you caught me on a cloud 9 day, and I'll be like, yeah, of course, yeah. What do you want it to say, and to who, and yeah, give me the information.
He just kind of gets out a piece of paper, kind of noticing that you seem a little bit out of it, and just like quickly writes out from Lewis, how's the prototype coming along, and sending it over to Clemdor.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll take it. And do I need to rewrite it, or is it okay for me just to take the note?
You would put a magical seal on it, like a wax stamper. But you do know it's pretty expensive. It would run Lewis at least 10 GP unless you foot the bill yourself.
It does cost 10 GP, but are you sure I can use it? I have 25 gold from you. I'll just take it from there.
If you insist.
I mean, yeah, it's still your money.
Okay. Sends that off as he kind of just like work over the course of the second month. He just continues with going through the classes, practicing with the various techniques, be it from combining 2 different metals and fusing them together and heating them in a way so that way they bend a very particular direction, to just figuring out how to properly sand down and sharpen materials. And over time, he'd start to realize that his arm is starting to just like act up on him, where it just gets really stuck in certain positions, and it just takes him a second to properly get it back to normal. And he just kind of looks at it, realizing that has been a while since he's gotten it maintained. And with how busy Clemdor is, he just thinks to himself about who else might be able to help him out a bit. And a certain someone comes to mind. Probably busy, but what the hell? As he eventually comes to Phoenix's door and knocks on it.
Yellow.
Hey, you busy?
She looks over her shoulder, and you see in the room behind her a chaotic mess. But she's like, for you, nah, come on in.
Right. He kind of comes in and notices all the material, but he doesn't really say anything. You're pretty good when it comes to more artifact type things, right?
Sometimes. Depends on if I got good sleep the night before.
Good. How do I put this? Do you have any experience with oil? As he just like pulls up his sleeve slightly to show a bit more of his arm. You think you might want to give a try maintaining my arm, perchance?
Yeah, sure about that? You don't want to go back to the guy that made it for you?
Knowing Clemdor, he's not exactly the, how do I put this? He's a very busy man. For a variety of reasons.
Yeah. Sure, I don't mind being your second choice. Have a seat. And she calls Jenkins over, who comes over with like a tray of a variety of things. She will look at it. Is there anything in particular she notices, or is it just seems to be out of repair and basically needs a maintenance?
I'd say Tinker's check.
Please don't nat one me, roll 20.
There we go.
Alright, so yeah, she does a little bit of wet sanding with the whetstone and greasing and tightening just a little bit here and a little bit there. You have a spring that's been overextended a couple too many times. She takes that out, grabs another one from her stash, puts it in. Yeah, pick her noises.
All right. Kind of noticing how quickly she's moving and just almost how efficient she seems to be at this, considering this is something that isn't exactly the most common of devices. He seems pretty surprised.
So
Looks like we called the right person for the job.
As she works, she's kind of talking through what she's doing, and she'll be like, oh, I see how he did that. Okay, I need to put that on Jenkins. And then works a little bit more. Oh, this was horrible. What the hell was he thinking? Works a little more. And then when you say the right person for the job, you kind of catch her off guard. She pauses for a minute and she looks up to you. Thanks, I appreciate that. And then goes back and she will polish the arm to make it clean, not like glowy by any means, but clean and pristine.
After you're eventually done with it, and there's like a main screw that would be around where his shoulder area is, that's like visibly larger than the rest, that you'd eventually just like screw in and lock in. All the various pieces would just start to compress onto the main frame of the arm and seem a bit more like appear a bit more like an actual arm rather than a bunch of frames put together, as a little bit of steam would rise off of it. He just rolled his shoulder, and after all the various work you did to it, it seems to run a little bit smoother, to the point where like it's a little bit less angular in how it moves. Instead of like 15-degree angles, it seems like it's able to move about within 10-degree increments every time.
Give me some more time. I need to do up a blueprint. Maybe we could get that even more precise.
Trust me, you've done enough. If you don't mind, then I definitely wouldn't be opposed to it.
Hey, I like a good challenge, and it's been a pleasure servicing you.
Thanks for being willing.
Anytime, Lewis. Anytime.
Gives a slight salute behind him as he leaves the room.
2-finger salute back at you.
And for the most part, most of his training, the rest of the final month, he's just going about practicing even more techniques for the smith tools and just training up his physical prowess, doing various exercises that would help him get back into the swing of the various motions he used to do. Gonna do a quick athletics just to see. Not the best. Whenever he's doing his various swings, he still seems a little bit rough with the motions, but it doesn't seem like he's regressing in positioning. It's just about the same as he was initially. And he would give a slight sigh, but just kind of thinking about the various people that are on his team. He just grits his teeth again, takes a deep breath, and continues on with his progress. As that is how he spends his 3 months.
Excellent. Another good one. Just leaves Amrit and Judith. Which one of you two would like to go?
I think Judith might want to go last.
I can go if you want.
Sure.
It's up to you.
Go ahead.
3 months. So, during this 3 months, you're not going to see a lot of Judith. You'll see her in the general classes and studies, and, you know, Amrit would see her, like, leaving the bathroom or, like, going to take a shower or something like that, like, just in the halls. There are a few things that Judith is going to check in on. She's going to continue to keep an ear out for anything on the night chapter.
Let's stop right there.
Okay.
You check in on the night chapter. And one day at work, I'm between the flames. You know, let's go there. You know, we made the map. Let's go there whenever it's even feasible.
Sure.
So you are at the night chapter. No, you're not over at the night chapter. Goddamn. you're
It's a twist.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
So you would be with Mr. Tuttle doing a normal check-in when a portal would open up, the emergency ring portal he gave. You would hear it crash into the bathroom and everyone comes running. You would see that in the bathroom, Eva is laying on the floor and she's in tears. She's came back with Joe Black. Well, technically came back with Joe Black. He's holding his head. That's it. Severed from his body. She's in tears.
Oh my God. What happened?
He throws a folder on the ground, splatters 20 or 30 photos, photographia, which is a requirement to be hired here, to know that cantrip, showing you a lot of what happened. She goes, look at photo 17.
I'll go over here to Gentle's desk and I'll say, excuse me, and I'll push some things aside and we'll start. Oh, no, actually, no. There's a whole fucking desk in here. There's a whole thing in here. I'll go in the workroom.
Okay, yeah.
I'll go to gentle, and I'll just like push them all and start going through like frantically. Okay, 17, 17, 17. Okay, what is this?
You look at it and you could see a photo. Joe Black he's got a really cool like black saber he uses, and he's having a fight with someone, and she looks at you with almost anger. When you look at the photo, Joe Black is fighting Amrit, and Amrit you could see in the next photo when you flip it over to 18, the death blow. But she was surprised because Joe Black was an exceptional warrior. The fact that he was taken out, she was taking the photos thinking that he was going to win, they were going to retreat. But Amrit delivers the killing blow. But the thing is, it doesn't look like the Amrit in every way you know. This one has more of a pinkish skin, but is identical in literally every other fashion save for the skin color.
This isn't who I think it is, but they look very similar. Eva, I'm so sorry. What else is there?
We discovered a lot. The night chapter is hoarding automatons, particularly assassin kind. They're kidnapping children and forcing hearts experiments onto them. And one more thing. It's seeming like they're trying to plug themselves into Zion's Hope. Based on some of the documentation Joe Black managed to scrounge up. If you turn to page 197 of the pamphlets we stole from the facility, you could see a plan being hatched to insert members into the school.
There is a search for more members, and they're very open about the need for more members. So I'll have to give this information to our headmaster to make sure that we don't let anyone in who's not up to the snuff and anything nefarious. Thank you.
She looks to Joe and she goes, our line of work is hard. And she looks like she wants to say something else, but she doesn't.
Judith will kind of go up and go to like give Eva like a comforting hug.
The title takes the head. Listen, while Judith's hug. We will make this right. And you see a tear roll down his eyes because he's very, very caring of his people here. He's just a good guy in general. And and you probably want to talk to Mr. Tuttle. It's very likely we'll close up shop today and he's going to march right over to Night Chapter and start fighting them. He's a very tough, retired warrior before he took up this field of work. But you don't think he's in a shape. You don't think most people are in a shape to challenge the Night Chapter without an army. But you could look in his eyes. He's determined. You think he's going to go and try to get even.
When I release the hug from Eva, I'll say this, Mr. Tuttle, this was so much information and an incredible sacrifice from Joe. But we have to remember we can't be too hasty. I mean, do they know that Between the Flames was there, or?
No, they think we're some rival faction, some kind. They didn't put the two and two together.
We should keep it that way, as long as we can, to help honor Joe and to make sure that we don't get into ourselves more trouble than we already are.
I was a reporter until the end. They had me, a blade to my throat. You could see a slice on her neck. Not enough to be critical, but clearly prepared to take her head as well. So I got as much information as I could out of them before breaking the ring in my back pocket. Now I'm here. And they were more than willing to tell me things, thinking that I wouldn't be able to escape. Which is most of what I've already told you. In addition to that, this person that looks like your friend, Ram Man, something off about him. He was a rune warrior, but everything he could do was bloodied, corrupted, darkened. Nothing I've ever seen before.
Like he controlled the blood?
It's a great effect.
Okay. I have to let the others know about this as well. So, I mean, we're not alone, but I'm sorry that I wasn't there to help you.
Okay, this is our line of work. She kind of wipes her eyes. I don't regret pursuing the truth. The people need to know the truth. And when it's time, we have to publish the night chapter. Push them into hiding.
I agree with you.
Battle stands up. We will make this right. Josh, damn it, there's some truths that are too difficult to pursue, and we should have been more prepared.
It's my fault, sir. I didn't mean to.
No,
I didn't know if it was that big of a organization that.
it's all right. Joe knew what he got himself into, but it still doesn't change what happened to him. But we know that, knowing the outcome, he probably still would have went. Would you have not gone? Try to change your own stars?
That's the thing that I love about this place is every one of these reporters in here would have went in an instant.
Gentle
That's the
walks.
kind of
Gentle
environment
walks.
that you-
Are good.
So that's the kind of environment that you fostered here, Mr. Tuttle, and Joe is a true hero for that.
But when you're finishing up your sentence, Joe Gentle kind of walks in like halfway to your sentence, lets you finish, and then he tells you, Chitaro, we've built or dug, more appropriately, a burial for Joe. You see everyone else outside is like in the dirt, digging up stuff. Literally every single member that's present immediately got to work on properly, at least burying the head. And his nose is turned up towards you, Judith. Quite the dangerous ordeal you've set this path for your friend. Or turning and leaving.
Judith is just like, he's almost like, like dumbfounded in a way of like horrible timing. Gentle, but doesn't want to say anything to, disrespect what's happening in the room with Toddle and Eva.
Let's bury what we have. We will get the rest of his body and bury that too one day. You still remember the words to between the flames, cadence. I think it'd be a nice touch when we set the head in the ground.
Yes, of course.
You did really good, Eva. I want you to take the next few months off work, completely paid. As much time as you need, minimum of 1 month. She looks to you, Judith, and come on now, you know I've got to get right back to work. I can't have some bullies stop me. Well, then work from home. I know office is usually mandatory except for special assignments like you and Judith has had. Work from home, get in the right headspace, you'll be paid, and if you don't work, you'll be paid. Now come on, let's get this head in the ground.
Take your time, Eva. If you need me, just let me know.
Looks at you and she's... We're just proud to be a part of this organization. Otto goes, I don't know what they've got at Wizards Weekly. We are family. And he hands the scripts to a few people. Let the cadence begin. What else do you do during your 3 months? This would have been pretty pivotal and may change some things you consider.
Yeah, Jesus. Okay. It does and it doesn't, because it honestly it just fuels a lot of other things. It fuels what I was doing as well.
Nice.
Okay, so some things that are not as heavy. Every now and then, between with Sora being busy with class and other researching and stuff that she's doing, every now and then she'll be sure to go and like say hello to everybody, like every now and then, like Sora, but also Baby Mello, and like every now and then we'll like bring Baby Mello like a little trinket like that she finds along the way. She will, when it comes to her class with Charlemagne, she is already proficient with disguise tools and thieves tools, and Charlemagne was very theatrical, and so I think this whole thing is going to be she and Charlemagne hopefully can get along very well, and they end up kind of like, you know, practicing like different disguises and like different like ways to like hide your face and different accents and stuff like that. It's like a whole like acting troupe thing. And then also like, every like once a week, like maybe her, Charlemagne, a couple other people, maybe some third years if they want, like we get together, play a game of caves and monsters where we like role play and like different ideas and different things. We play a little D&D.
So Judith, can you
Yeah.
give me your choice of perception or investigation?
Perception, or I'll do investigation. What am I investigating? Oh, never. I'll just do it. Here we go.
Wow. Damn you. An old lady bumped you on the street. Oh, excuse me. But your keen eye from everything you've learned in your class, you know that it's Charlemagne. He's probably about to pop out soon, but he looks like a hunchback. Oh, my new way. He's been trying to trick you into his disguises, and a lot of time he succeeds.
I just kind of like say, oh, lady, watch where you're going, and I kind of put on like a fun little accent, but also I don't let him know that I know.
He walks away, and under his voice, he goes back to his pristine voice, what she thinks with. But of course, she couldn't figure it out.
Can I have tried to like put like a piece of paper of mine like one of my business cards like on the person when they bump me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or like, yeah, okay, cool.
So Charlemagne would throw off the cape when you're like halfway down the street. It is I, Charlemagne, all along. Then he sees the card. We're getting good at this.
You'll get me next time. You always do.
At that, I agree. He kind of bows, and that's kind of how some of your tests in the class are not your conventional test. It's everyday life. He tells you he's gonna be there, and you won't even notice. You notice, you pass, and as you turn to walk away, you hear, pass. He keeps down the road.
A little smile comes across Judith's face as she continues on.
Anything else?
Yes. Okay. Apollo.
Okay.
One of the things that one of the reasons why Judith is so tired and running all over the place is because she's researching everything on what's been coming up, but also the schoolwork, the general studies, and she goes to Apollo in the evenings. And first off, it would start with me bringing him like some really nice hot chocolate every now and then, and we could sit and like share stories. Do you want me to just kind of go through the things that I'm curious
Absolutely,
about?
Yes.
Apollo, there's a few things that I'm curious about, and I was wondering if you would be able to help me with it. There's things that are in our group that maybe we're not the best with, and you seem to be the one with all the knowledge.
Apollo would look at you and certainly, what is it? I can help you with.
Yeah, well, right now, there are the 5 of us, and we don't have anyone who's actually an Earth rune. And that came up in one of our missions, but luckily, Phoenix was able to use her Shadow Rune to help with that. But I think that it's going to come to a time when we won't have that ability, and I want to know more about runes and maybe in the Earth rune and different Earth rune warriors and stuff like that we can learn kind of throughout, so I can be more prepared.
Yes. He pulls out a scroll. It's empty. He opens it up and goes, "You work out between the flames, don't you?"
Yes.
Well, then perhaps you'll like this trick. He puts his finger on the middle of the paper, says some choice words, and then sprawling onto it is a whole bunch of text. And he hands it to you. This is all the information you need to know about the basics of the Earth Room, its warriors.
Actually impressed. Judith is like, that is amazing. Can I just borrow this?
Absolutely. I'm able to transcribe information to scrolls instantly from anything I've stored in my library. Think of it like attunement, which you would have learned in one of your classes, how that works. I can attune books to a bookshelf, and when needed, these magical pieces of scrolls that are empty and have the words immediately put on them. He hands you an empty scroll. Perhaps in the future you'll learn this technique. Here's the paper needed.
Thanks. Where's in the library is just something that you of yours, like your shelf right over there, and I'll point to one of his bookshelves.
The one upstairs that you all use is my personal collection. I'm attuned to every book in there.
Oh wow. Okay. Thank you very much.
He bows, and then Sakura calls, "Come on, it's time for my class. I really want to learn how to do firebolt. Everyone says it's awesome." Sorry, talking about firebolt, but we're not going to teach you that one yet, now are we? He walks away.
Another thing I'll ask him on another night. I'll say,
Sure.
when we were attacked by this dragon, undead dragon creature, I picked this up, and I pull up the gold coin that I took from the horde.
This is interesting.
I didn't know if that what we were seeing was real or not, so I decided to pick this up. And when I came through when I woke up in our actual real world, this stayed. So I thought I'd bring it to you for maybe any information you can get from it, or what you think could come from it.
He puts it on the table. He levels a glass under it. And then he levels another glass over it. He puts on something on his eye. Leans in. Zooms in a little bit. He goes into his pocket and pulls out some paper and starts writing and drawing stuff really large. Then he inspects the paper. Fool's gold. Interesting. This gold alone is worthless, though to the naked eye it's still a GP.
Why would he be surrounded by fake gold? I thought dragons liked to be surrounded by actual wealth.
It's the dragon's curse. Sometimes they place it on their hoards for people who take it. In a year's time, this gold piece will simply disappear and return to where it came.
Okay.
You should be careful, though. Only something like this, a powerful creature, could use it to scry on you. As long as you're holding an object of theirs. So make sure it's always fully covered. That's one way to counter it. It's in an enclosed place, such as a coin purse, which means it's not as a reliable tactic. They could view you.
Yeah, sure. I'll make sure to do that.
He kind of, he's not evil like Count Dooku, but he kind of carries and talks like Count Dooku does.
Yeah. And then, yeah, like I know that I won't be able to become proficient in it, but like I'm going to spend like every other day like doing an all-nighter trying to learn about trying to boost any kind of religion I can, especially when it comes to rune warriors, and especially the earth rune warriors, because I want to know who this earth rune warrior was that died, and follow that lead if I can. This can get crazy, so I won't go too deep into all this stuff. So
yeah.
Just generally.
So on that note, real quick before we move on to Amrut, if you dedicate enough time to studying the religion, usually it's about a year of that being the only thing you study. I'm willing to let you on your next level up switch a skill that you didn't study as much, if you're okay with that, to religion. That's something you'd be willing to pursue?
Yeah.
No pressure today, but just so we can work with you.
Yeah.
Eventually, maybe you can just straight up pick up another skill, but in the short amount of time you're working with, then it'd be nice to have an option for you.
Yeah, I'll probably switch out one of my wisdom skills.
No worries. And then you don't have to do this. This is just an avenue if you want to get it faster. With that said, if there's nothing else, Judith, just confirming, I don't mind the time you're taking.
No, it's okay. It's just a lot of that. That's all.
Excellent. So you never engaged Emmerich about the duplicate?
Oh yeah, fuck. That was the.
Yeah,
that
I was
the
like,
new
wow, I'm
part.
so shocked.
Yeah. How about,
Let's do
how
that,
about,
and then we'll jump to Emmerich.
Yeah, to help we'll transition into Amrod. I would have said that very early, like the same day that I found out the information. And I'll pull out the photos and say, with the others as well. I'll have everyone go and join our little lounge on that first floor, and say, hey everyone, look at this. This is what Between the Flames have just found. And I'll say, look, there's Amrod here. This is the night chapter.
What?
Amrut, pink is actually your color.
Yes, something happened and they killed one of our reporters. This dual Amrut.
Wait. Who is that?
That's someone who looks very similar to you. But they said that they Eva said that they were calling themselves Amrut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said they called themselves Amrut, but you were the Amrut that I know and looks just like this. So why are there multiples of you?
I'm not one to look at many mirrors. This isn't from the past.
No. This was taken right before they killed him, one of my friends.
When was this?
I received this photo earlier today. The photo was taken hours before, maybe.
What happened to the people who took that picture?
One died, and the other returned and is in hiding right now.
I know you told them, but I didn't think they'd get that close.
I mean, Between the Flames is pretty good, but yeah, I didn't hope they would get that close either.
He puts his hand over his face.
Or I would put a hand on his shoulder, but just, not say anything.
Why do you think there are two of you? And are there more?
I don't know.
Quick, tell me something only that I would know. Tell me about what happened the first day that we met, where you and I were the only ones around.
We went for coffee. I drew a picture of you.
Okay. Yes. Okay. This is the right Amrut. Okay.
The right.
Are they all like you, in a sense, you think? Maybe they did not have the same choice you did.
My dreams. This was a dream. No. I should have known, like all my dreams, it's a memory. And he'll tell everyone what he saw in the dream from before.
I'm really sorry, Amrit. They've done such awful things to you.
Go tell Mr. Farr.
Okay. Zora would go fetch Miss Dofar for this conversation further.
I'd go with her, and during that time is when I would say, is when we talk about your brother, and I'm like, yeah, of course, yeah, join.
Okay, cool. Just be wary. He likes to punch it instead of handshake.
Okay, that's good to know.
Emerald, as you sit in the room alone, we can cover today, but we don't have to cover that right now. Your 3 months begins. Walk us through it.
Sure. So he's been practicing the alchemical arts, turning into Heisenberg in the meantime there. Where would you say, or at least remind me, where was the stuff at Between the Flames, where was that around?
I would say it was probably like on the heavier side, maybe like 2 months out.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was
Before
it was 1.5 when we initiated the Yondo potential, so it would have to be after that, yeah.
Gotcha. So he's just practicing making potions, leading up to that there. Essentially what he would do would get like a couple beakers, couple flasks, essentially putting the powder from the gemstone, it's like 25 GP, I think it says in the notes there. Making into a powder and pouring it into that glass. Because why not? And just stirring it up. Pouring it into like a funnel with like a paper filter. And then just letting it like go down into a beaker underneath it and just let it like dilute there. And it's just like an ongoing process. After a while, he would just eventually, when it's all like everything drips through, you kind of like stir it again. I won't stir the cup again, but it'll stir it again, putting it into like the usual like healing potion bottle there. And essentially what he would do is every now and then he would make one and just show up at someone's door and knock. Ooh, don't want to bother. He'll show up to like the store's room. Hey.
What's up, Ramen?
Here, drink this.
Oh, okay. And she just downs it.
Alrighty. I'm gonna be mean. This is the first one.
Okay, sounds good.
Roll a con save.
You got it, buddy. Let's see here.
Oh, you have to pee? I'm sorry. Awesome. You feel great. It just works like a normal. If you have like any bruises from like training with your brother, you wouldn't feel them anymore, essentially. Why do you keep hurting me? That's just happenstance. I'm sorry. I thought of the idea.
Wow, you are getting so good with these potions. Oh, Dondo's foot really hurts, though. We almost got to a 1-second hug today. Oh, my ribs. I'm gonna need more of that. Can you make more, please?
Sure. Wait, you weren't like fight training. You were just trying to hug the guy?
I think he thought that I was trying to stun him. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, you can do that?
Apparently he can. Apparently maybe one day I could, with his teachings is key. But I keep telling him I don't know how, and our hugs kind of end in stalemates, with my ribs sacrificed.
Okay, yeah, I'll bring some more over. What an asshole.
Appreciate it, Ram Man. No,
He's,
he's getting better. Please.
I mean, he's yeah. He's
He's
cute
alright.
till he opens his mouth. That's all I'm saying.
You have a point.
That's
What?
enough. He slides out from under the bed.
Oh,
fuck.
no. Well, you know, this is where I tell you to run, but it wouldn't work.
You guys like get into a little scuffle.
Yes.
He'll like limp back to his room and like slam the door. Don't start making another one there. And when he makes this one, he'll drink this one himself there. And when he drinks, it'll feel like a burning sensation, like at the back of his throat. And he'll get like some water and drink that as a base for any like reaction he's having. And just like that, that pain from something elicits memories, essentially, of things he's like repressed in his life there, and from his dreams. Like hypodermic needles produced from coat sleeves. Like a painful like itch rippling like a pulse underneath the skin. And there's some kinds of pain where it's so harsh, so cruel that you don't even cry out. It's at that level. Like an affliction intentionally inflicted. And he just remembers that whenever he's injected with whatever the stuff is, they always have the same mantra of yesterday's pain. And that tomorrow it'll subside. And they'll do it again. And sooner or later they'll have that meeting downstairs. And in the aftermath of that, he'll go up to his room and just like slide his arm across the table, and all the glass will shatter on the floor. And he'll take his own blood and put into any remaining beaker he has, and he'll try and study that.
Excellent. Why don't you give me a tools check? Just got proficiency. No, you already have proficiency. The alchemist.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Ooh.
I'm
Okay.
gonna say that you managed to make a basic healing potion during the time off. This one is going to have a 21-day limit. We'll put it towards the end of the 30 days so that it doesn't expire soon.
Gotcha. And that one was made, I guess, made from his own blood there.
Yeah,
He's just trying to figure out what's going on there.
forgot about your own blood. Let's say greater. You have very special blood.
Ooh. Is there anything that he can glean from the like the study of it though? Like any like thing he can trace back? As for like what this stuff could be.
I would say that you would notice that your blood regenerates really fast. And that you are the living D&D meme of get attacked, take that 8-hour rest, and you're back to normal. Except for you, it's kind of your actual life where you just heal extraordinarily. Using the information you know, since this would be towards the end, this is probably after you heard about duplicate and knowing stuff. Someone's probably using your blood in a way to fashion additional use, which could be a problem.
Oh fuck, he is the source. All right. And I'll keep that one on standby. Sweep up the room, and I guess he'll go out and buy some more glassware, and that's it for him.
Awesome. Now, as everyone spent the last 3 months having a really great time, is there anyone that over the course of the flashbacks and all this, the time skip, that would have thought of something that they wish they included that we can cover really quick?
Phoenix reads a lot of books.
Love. All right. So, and I love that you spoke up, Phoenix, because this is actually pertaining. The 3 months pass. And the day we resume, the day after 3 months, you're experiencing a dream, Phoenix.
Oy vey.
And in your dream, you're back in the manor. Everyone's having a good time. But once you open up the door, you see Jenkins. Except he's much bigger now. He's like a large-sized creature. And he turns to you and he just says, "Who's the benefactor?"
When did you get so big? I didn't make you that big. I can't reach your head.
The benefactor. The benefactor. And it starts to glow. And I won't describe the inside. Looks like the entire classroom gets nuked. That's when you wake up.
Oh shit. She will sit up, look around. Is normal Jenkins in the room?
Yeah, he's in the back. He's sewing a scarf for Emerald.
She's just gonna say out loud, "Benefactor?"
Jenkins? He hands you the scarf. It's a size small. It might be more effective at choking Emerald, but he gives it to you.
Benefactor? What the hell does benefactor mean? I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. Look out the window. Is the sun coming up?
Yeah, it's really early. The sun is just beginning to peak.
Spending 4 months with everybody. Does she know any of you guys is usually up early getting a morning jog or anything?
You would know Lewis tends to wake up relatively early for his usual training. You'd find him either around the courtyard or just in his room.
I say, since our doors are across from each other, she'll open her door to see if yours is cracked or not. If
It's relatively easy. He doesn't really lock his door or anything.
I'm guessing, over these last couple months, we've gotten much more relaxed with each other and whatnot. So she does the knock and then open thing where you don't really wait for someone to say come in. She pokes her heads in, and you see she's a little not shaken, but there's a look of seriousness on her face, like she ain't messing around. Does benefactor mean anything to you?
Lewis just kind of finishing up with just some basic body weight exercise. It just kind of wipes off some of the sweat. Not that I know of. Why?
Long story. I had a dream. It just, I don't know. Jenkins was not natural. He was big. He was yelling at me. Who's the benefactor? I don't know what to make of it.
Oh. Peculiar.
I
want to check in with the others.
Yeah, I'll mention it at breakfast. Thanks.
That was good.
Whenever everybody gathers down at the breakfast table, she won't do it if there's other people in the room, but we usually kind of get together at about the same time, I suppose. She will look up and say, "Anybody know who the benefactor is?"
Nope. Like the benefactor of this place, or what does it mean to you?
I don't know.
What is that?
Like, where'd you get the name?
Came to me in a dream. I'll find Mustafar. Oh, is he in the basket?
No, Dondo is.
Oh.
Weird if Mistafar's hiding the basket. Even though, you know what? The man never gets to eat breakfast, so shit, he might.
He comes to the kid.
So you look for Mustafar?
Yeah.
I guess we could. You guys are your favorite room, which is the breakfast room. And you would eventually find Mustafar. I know her. There he is. He would look at you and say, benefactor. And let's talk over breakfast. You can see he's extremely scared. He's going to miss breakfast. Talk to you out anywhere else. The name, it sounds extremely familiar. Something an automaton would carry his title. I'll have to do research for it. But I don't want to say anything now because I'm not certain. But more importantly, we should eat.
Would Bronzebeard know something?
You potentially you could speak to Bronzebeard, though it's more likely better to reach out to Clamdor's creator.
What if I really don't want to talk to that guy?
Pretty odd. He's good person in most books, but I suppose I could just propose the same exact question. It's only a question after all, and receive the information for you.
She kind of sighs. She's thinking it over. Okay, I'm gonna ask to roll a d2 because I really don't know which way to go with this one.
Sure.
One is Phoenix does it, two is she wants Mustafar to do it. Yeah, if you don't mind, I got a lot of work to do. Yeah.
Certainly. Could be important. An interesting title. The name rings with me with Metal Rain, but I'm far younger back then. I'll look into it.
Thanks.
Now to enjoy Mr. Far. I'll take it to go.
Good idea. Also, I find having specific food pockets allows me to bring food wherever I want.
And all of your students. Ha! I mean, everyone hurry up. Grab what you can. We gotta go.
Sora shovels some things in her pockets and hurries out.
Let's do
Follow.
this.
Sounds good. Wait.
Good.
Has anyone seen Amber?
Mr. Far looks to
Oh.
Apollo. Please send an information, a sending spell to Emerald to assemble at the school. Something big is going down. Judith, you're saying something?
Oh no, I was gonna go get him, but all good.
I mean, maybe you reach him first.
No. I trust Apollo, so
Okay, good. So Apollo would send a sending spell to us. And Mr. Far looks like he's getting information in a similar fashion, nodding and saying, Things have gotten extraordinarily dire fast. Couldn't we just have at least 3 more months? Everything's going fine. He's a bite out of his business. It's cold, but I just pulled it off. Whatever. He's getting worried. He's about to go back to the old day. And we all would assemble. This is a big meeting. The upperclassmen are there. You all are there. And all of the teachers are there, including the board. Move over to Not that good.
Ep.11.
Main school property we have not been into in a long time.
Uh,
So, as you all assemble here, everyone's chattering and talking. It looks like another day, but people are concerned. It doesn't take long for Hekalu to stand up and be like, everyone, your attention, please. Istafar whispers to you, Phoenix. And he goes, I mentioned Dando. This could be the announcement. A student is pretty huge. And Hekalu looks around and says, two things have happened. Thanks to our table of rune masters, we have located and brought home some veterans. Let's give them a round of applause. And you see Amalexia enter. And she kind of does a bow and she's smiling. And she's waving her hand to everybody.
alright.
You also see Quill walk in behind her. This is Quill. But as he walks in, he doesn't look like he used to look. Looks different. Smiling at each of you. It's good to be home.
Whoa.
Whatever they were doing for 3 months out in the field, they look like they've got magic items and they look like they've leveled up in a sense. Next, Tasha comes in. This is how you remember Tasha looking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when she comes in, I blow up his like this.
Oh, it's so good.
Got the orange. New elven cloak. Reed, here we go. Reed is here. This is how he looks. And nothing's changed.
Of course.
Phoenix will point to Sora and use messaging to speak to her head. Say, if they let Creed in here, your brother's assured.
Be nice now, Phoenix. They probably went through an ordeal.
That's a fair assessment, though.
Yes.
And I'd like to welcome a new student to the class. And walking head held high and entering is a young lady, blue skin.
Why did I fucking...
Nikita.
Oh, shit.
She smiles. She does a soft bow. She was pivotal in our students returning home in good condition. A rune warrior, young and skilled, exactly what the academy is looking for. And then finally, hey, what about me? He sticks his head around the corner. One more student. Oh, sorry, I said. Donda. Yeah. He walks in, staff held high.
At that point, Sora would stand on her seat and hoot and holler over at Dondo. Yeah, that's my brother.
Oh yeah, 2 worlds, 1 family.
They are so annoying, but they do not care.
Oh, that's amazing.
And as they all take their seats, Nikita does a side glance at Amber very briefly and sits.
It's just like eyes pierced at her.
She doesn't say anything. Her back is to you. Redondo just keeps talking to her, and she's like nodding, but you've seen her do that before. You know her quite well, and she's usually probably ignoring someone when they talk too much. It's like, mm-hmm. And then she like looks back at you, full blown. And then Master Heckler goes, "Now I would love to say that everything is peachy and great. I'm happy that we now have two proper students to compete against each other in the year's final. But an event has occurred, and I must ask all of you to partake in this. It will be voluntary, but we don't have enough masters to cover all the zones. Palm has begun to move her pieces. She has not attacked full force yet, but we noticed that she has awakened several ancient burial sites. We need to send a master and several students to each site. If you think your students are ready, then please speak up now. The third years are almost immediate." Mr. Farr looks to Phoenix before answering what energies he get from you. And you hear Heckler's explaining the threat. These burial sites each contain a powerful Mouther. They must be closed, or in a year's time when she attacks, she'll already have an advantage on our side of the table. This will likely end in many of you losing your lives. The masters will dispatch and the students only if they are willing. And he just keeps his eyes deeply at you, Phoenix, before he volunteers you all of your lives. Wondering, trying to pick up if you're ready.
Phoenix is noticeably intrigued that this other team that we beat, quite frankly, fairly easily at the beginning of the year, they all look like they've surpassed us, quite frankly, except for Creed. Creed is still at the bottom of the barrel. But like Quill, Tasha, they seem like they know what, like they carry a confidence about them. And so she is going to message Mr. Farr. None of the instructors came back.
He says, "The ones that pursued Amalekshi and her team have gotten back. They're injured in the infirmary for them to make a full recovery. They accidentally stumbled upon the first burial site. Many more. You must understand that I will be accompanying you. But I may be a rune master, that doesn't make me a god. Your lives may very well be forfeit. It's up to the table to decide what we shall do. I look foremost to you while I address it."
Can Phoenix do a real quick scan of everybody's face and seeing what their faces look like?
Yours is just looking and looks at everyone like, What are we waiting so long? Like, are we just not saying yes? What's happening here? Are you guys holding back?
You see Sora with her palm against the tabletop and fingers kind of dug deep, but her face is that of that wide grin, but her head is tilted down, so there's almost like a deep, excited determination to prove themselves.
Lewis?
Lewis, during this entire conversation, has just kept like his palm on the relatively cleaned blade that he's been holding, and at a tilt has the Ilia flower just wrapped around the hilt, as his eyes just have sheer determination in them.
Amrit? You might be distracted, that's understandable.
He's just looking at you, waiting for your answer.
If you look at his face, it will be similar to when you first met him, where it's just like a reserved kind of look. But you know him long enough to see that it's also like, it's almost like there's so much going on. Like his face is like washed with like emotion to the point that he's like numb. He just
She,
stares at Nikita.
she will.
Lover boy.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm in.
She will look at Mistafar, hide her doubt, and nod.
Stands up. Looks at the table. Headmaster Hekalu, me and my students are ready to deploy. That's where we end the session.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh.
I'm glad it was so unanimous from all of you guys, because I was thinking no.
What?
Sora wants to feel like she is worthy of the Aku. She is down.
I mean, if you guys would have said no, I would have went with the other group to write the story about them.
Well, hold on, before we get
Oh
to the
my
after
gosh.
talk, thank you everybody for watching today's session. I'm about to roll credits. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye, stream.
Bye.
They won't hear you
Bye-bye,
guys,
bye-bye,
but they'll hear
bye-bye,
me.
bye-bye.
At you all on the flip.
Out of fear, we kept running, tried to hide away. Can you hear? War is coming, beckoning our fate. This is the day that we stand up. This is the day we fight. We'll take our place, we won't give in. Our victory's in sight. Only a sword in our hand, but we enter the lion's den. We're not waiting for a war.